Hello, today we have a really special video because I interviewed three value observers of the Valor Silence official Discord server. These people are responsible for keeping up with the values. They are really helpful to the community and it was really cool to interview them. I interviewed Knight, Wormwood and Slushy and asked them 7 questions and here are their answers. So the first question I asked, do value observers have to constantly be online? The answer is pretty obvious, no. Knight said, nope. The first rule of being a value observer is that your own personal health comes before your role. Lots of us take breaks when issues come up, which makes complete sense. Here's what Slushy said, we don't, it's just whoever is available, since we all have our own things we get busy with. Again, this is another aspect. Not only mental health, but also work and school, which are definitely more important things than the Discord server and the role. And lastly, Wormwood. They said, no, everyone has lives of their own, and expecting any role to be available 24/7, I personally believe, is an overstep and an unreasonable demand. I totally agree. I think it would be very unethical to ask someone to be online 24/7. Number 2. How long does it take to determine the value of something? Not just said 3 days to a week depending on the item and the rarity. However, Wormwood and Slushy gave me more precise answers. They specified it depends on the item's popularity and the general price people sell it for. Slushy said it can be 1 to 2 weeks. Third thing I asked, do you ever have big chats or meetings to decide values? As I discovered, they indeed do. They have their own channel where they determine values. The values are based off the trades people have already done. For number 4, I asked, what are the main jobs of a value observer? And the answer was pretty clear. As the name value observer states, keep track of values and help people out in win, fair, lose, and auctions. Number 5, what are the best trading tips you can give? And here's where it gets interesting. Here's what Slushy has to say. Honestly, to just always ask about the trade offer before fully going through with the trade? Yes. And of course avoid trust trades? Yes. And when a new update comes out, to avoid trading for anything that will be in game and not leave the game, such as the new special codes? Also yes. They are very overpriced now, and if you were to wait for a month or 2, they will be much cheaper. Knight thinks similarly. Do not buy things when they first come out and are planned to be permanently in-game. Wait about 4 days to a week after initial update to start offering for event horses. This is also true. This is for all the traders out there. The best trading tip I can give is to never offer first. If you are trying to get something from somebody, always check and see if they have a price in mind for what they are trading. There is a pretty good chance they could ask for much less than it's actually worth. The second best I can give is if you get your hands on a new item/horse that will always be available in game quickly, then trade it as fast as possible. There will always be time to get it again, and the excitement of the new things in the game tends to make people offer big overpays and event horses for them. As you can see, this is quite different from the first two, but if you manage to get lucky and get the item quickly, you can get really rich. My sixth question was, what's the worst part of the role? They all agreed it's the rude, impolite, and impatient people, and that there are a lot more than expected. One of the last things I asked, do you have to memorize values? If so, what is the best way to do it? The answer was actually split here. Knight said, though it is not mandatory, we generally do as people want values fast. While Slushy said, they do have to try and memorize them. However, they both mentioned that they wrote the values down in their own notes. I think Wormwood explained it the best. You don't have to memorize values, but I personally prefer to as it makes it easier to provide answers more quickly and calculate words of different offers faster. Repetition and rereading values is the way I did it personally, and it works out pretty well for me from what I can tell. My very last question was, what do I enjoy the most about being a value observer? Knight. The amazing people I meet and get to know from all types, mods, other value observers, and even just normal people in game chat asking values, are the best part. It's so fun to make new friends and get to be a part of an amazing community. Slushy. I enjoy all the other value observers I get to work with. They don't have to be serious all the time, and I get to enjoy many funny moments with all of them. Wormwood. I like helping people out with knowing what would be fair for their items, but mostly I like helping out keeping their trades from being losers. It happens a lot with newer players, and finding out you were ripped off kind of sucks. So I guess knowing I can help prevent that feeling kind of makes me happy. That's all for this video. Big thank you to Wormwood, Slushy, and Ned for answering my questions. Before you leave, make sure to like and subscribe. And what do you think? Could you be a value observer?